Executive Director of Sisters in the Spirit. This is a Sister in the Spirit and my guest host, my co-host, and I love her dearly. So we are going to talk about women and women in the history of this planet and the whole cultural history of women as the goddess image. I do have a book. I showed it last Thursday, When God Was a Woman. What had happened over the years, the centuries, is that when this planet was formed and human beings began, that there's the male that became the dominant Homo sapien. And over the centuries, males have taken the dominant part in writing the history, history. Her story has not been told. So those of us who've been aware and have been given the information as to where we were as women, part of the creative process, are here to inform you. She is and I am. Now, she went over the book When God Was a Woman, and what I would like for Rosella Jackson to share with you is just a summary. What was it that you found interesting in your reading the book, Rosella?
Actually, Cynthia, I did not read the book. I skimmed over the first 6 or 7 pages. What I found was something very interesting, things that I've already started working on, and that is women being the center of power for this planet. And I noticed that there's a lot of feminine energy that's coming out around the world. You're seeing more women taking leadership roles now and sustaining them. Well, of course, there are some companies that only hire women. They're very quietly kept. And people are looking at the power of women, how they strategize in business. More women are being accepted in the military now. That's not a good thing necessarily, but it's a change. And I feel, and a number of my spiritual associates feel, that it's a natural, necessary change toward peace, which I'm excited about. In the book, again, I only did about 8 pages, like 8 pages. Mm-hmm. I'm very busy, but I do want to get the book, one of my own, and read in it because I write and scratch and do everything in book. Dog ears to work, so no one can loan me a book. It talked about how the author discussed how in the pagan times the gods were women. They worshiped female deities and such. And they tried to rewrite that, even in some cases, taking a name and making it a masculine name, so that through the years, as time go on, it would be looked at as a male deity, not a female, because there was so much power associated with her. As we go on with this book, I want to talk a little bit more about that and enunciate her name properly.
And one of the things about the book, the title of the book is When God Was a Woman. And with Sisters in the Spirit, and I will share this again with all of you who are following me, we do have meetings Sunday at 3 p.m., every Sunday at 3 p.m. There are many books that I have at my home that we can talk about that energy of the feminine, the divine feminine. Now, I'm not going to knock out the divine masculine, but unfortunately, it appears, and I've talked with this on my Blog Talk Radio show, I have, let me share this with you, a Muslim brother who has been my tech support. And I've challenged him and some of the guests that he's brought on from the Muslim faith as to their faith and how they feel. But the point of the matter is the feminine is something that is threatened, that men feel threatened by the feminine.
Oh, yes.
And when did that change take place? And I really talk about that in my meeting on Sunday. That's only one part of Sisters in the Spirit. Let me just organize it for you. The mission of Sisters in the Spirit is to educate women, African descendant women, black women, women of color, as to their spirituality, psychology, thinking and behavior, sociology, way of life in the past, and she shares some of that, and in today with all that is going on. So when you come to the meeting, let me go and do this overhead so you can see Isn't that a beautiful icon I have too? Let me show you that overhead. That overhead was given to me by a black male who believed in what it was that I was coming from. He really respects black women, women as a whole. You know, we try to, in the separation of who and what we are culturally, it is what it is. But we're all connected spiritually. That says sisters in the spirit. And that image of Nefertiti and Cleopatra, and as I shared with before on the other programs I've had with you, is that Nefertiti and Cleopatra were Egyptians, which is part of that continent called Africa, which is really the name of an Italian man, military man who was given that right because he conquered certain parts of Africa in the past, history past. Remember what I said? History past. Our history is that there were queens, women that were pharaohs too. You have the Nubian culture that was the lower part of Egypt. That's not talked about much. But that Nubian culture fed into the Egyptian culture. So one of the issues for us in our religious concept is that we've been given the Christian Bible out of slavery as African people, and we've taken that and used it to help develop and cultivate our spirituality, which I say to all of you that by this time, the majority of people are aware that everyone comes from that giant land mass, and that's Africa. And we all have that heritage. And I say to you that I want to encourage all of you at this present time to be strong. I look at my Caucasian soul sisters, and they have a strong sisterhood. But my assignment when I came out that coma was to go back and develop this group even more for black women. A lot of trauma going on with the killing of our children and our male sons, grandsons, and even us throughout this country. But I'm here to encourage you as women of color, black women, that you can be strong in the midst of everything, and we're here for you. Another thing that we have at this meeting that I have is what I call, it's not what I call, but it is an EA program, 12-step program. And what it does, it talks about the woundedness that we may feel, the hurt, the pain, the hatred, the neglect. And this 12-step program is based on the original 12-step program of AA. And my experience with the 12-step program, I was married, my ex-husband was a heroin addict, a drug addict. And what that showed me, and I believe that divine intelligence wanted me to have this experience, that I needed to work with myself. You know, we say, well, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do anything. But we be in bad relationships. And we as women look to the man and say, he's the one that's bad. But we don't realize there's some healing that needs to be done in our mentality and in our emotions and our spirituality. And having gone through these experiences myself, then and come out of them, I want you to know that you can overcome, and that's why I'm still here. Waking up from that coma, I mean, I was told through the Spirit Divine, the voices said, we're going to keep you alive. I didn't go down a tunnel. That's what was said to me. So my assignment, as I asked, was to go back to the women's group. And I want to say to you, black women, that when you come to this meeting on Sunday at 3 o'clock, gathering, please, then you will go through and start the process of healing. I had a lady call last Thursday, and I was looking forward to her calling me and coming to the meeting. Don't be afraid. It's something different. I know we go to the church because we've been trained. You see, it's very hard to get out of something that you have been psychologically trained to do. And as African slaves, we were given the Christian Bible, as I said, and because we're spiritual people, the original people, then we took that and made it our own. There was a lot of training in that, and I have a degree in psychology. Now, there's an experiment that they show when you take the classes called Pavlov's dog. And they showed that they had trained this dog to salivate every time they heard a bell ring. It's called conditioning. Mm-hmm. And we as African descended people have been conditioned to go to church. But we don't realize our sociological history. So don't get mad when I hear people say the Word of God. There's nothing wrong. There's a beautiful thing in that book, The Nuggets. But let us not sacrifice our lives to something that has been distorted, that has put women out of it. You know, when you go to church, where they tell you that God made man first. We have a caller. Yes, caller. Yes, your question or statement, please.
Yes, I called last week.
Speak a little louder, please.
Okay, I called last week, and it was a great show. This was just as good, but one little mistake. You said earlier that women can be strong. They have to be, they have to be strong now with all the stuff that they have to go through. I'm an Hispanic, and I wouldn't change one thing about a beautiful ebony colored woman. But they're on TV now without tattoos all over them. They're wearing their pants, like the boys do. And I was wondering, I says, why do they do that to them beautiful bodies? Why do they wanna cover up, with this? I think they would get better jobs and stuff, like the other young lady was talking about, if they didn't go in for a job interview all tacked up, tattoos, and the attitudes that some of them have. But great show. Keep them coming, and I'm fired up. Thank you so much.
Keep them covered?
I'm sorry, I couldn't
You can't hear me? You can't hear me?
It's sort of a buzzing, sir, when you called in. Could you pick a better phone and try to call us back? Because I'm hearing something where you're not happy with what's being said. Is that what you're saying? If there's something that you want to be clarified because you feel that in us talking about women, in some way that may be placing the male in second-class citizenship or something. I'm not quite understanding what it is that you're saying. Could you another caller? Yes, caller. What is your question or statement?
I'm calling back.
You're calling back, yeah, because I'm trying to.
Yeah, let him. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Don't do that.
I can't. Okay, I can't hear him.
I'm the guy who called earlier. Can you hear me?
It's very
Can't
difficult.
hear me?
We really have a difficult time, so bear with us. Now let me ask you to do this, sir. When we're not here, and you want to contact me, then you can contact me. Let me show you this number here. I want you to call me at my home, and we can discuss this even more. I don't know what the technical problems are today, but it seems like we're having technical problems. Now look at this over here that I have here, and there's a phone number on here and an email address. You can call me 312-802-4743 after the show is over. Anytime, no, I would say any time of the day. But call me sometime during the day, because I'm available during the day. And we can just talk about what it is even more so, and maybe we'll get these technical issues together on the call in. So I do apologize to you for this occurrence today. But I want to go over something I was saying. Maybe this is what you were responding to. We all come from the spirit realm, from the divine intelligence, from the universe. The divine feminine and the divine male. And as males have come into the human being form, and they have dominated, they have taken over the writing of the history. And our story has not been told. There is a cooperative relationship, a balance between male and female. But unfortunately, in this planet that we've lived on, men have done nothing but fight wars and kill each other because they want power and control over each other. And we come under that brutish force that they use. This is why we have the issues of rape and domestic violence, because men, because of the testosterone, I believe that's what it is, has given them that aggressive, assertive way of dealing with each other and us. And so we as women who are aware must bring that spiritual balance to the relationships of human beings on this planet, those of us who are aware. So I tell you, I have a beautiful husband. I've had bad relationships, bad marriages, but I have a beautiful husband, and I had to go through the process, as I said to all of you. I've been through the whole sexual abuse issue, but look at me today. I'm not all broke down. got a little weight on me, but I'm happy. I love myself. I feel good about what I'm doing. And I know that that higher power is giving me something to do to help and give service to others. So, sir, let me say this to you as a male. You are appreciated. There's nothing that we as women is here to put you down or talk about you. At the meeting, we will not be gossiping. We'll be doing something to help the women to heal from the pain and suffering they have gone through. Now, EA is also for men. I will have open meetings for men also. So I'm not just limited to, right now, this is what my assignment was given to me when I woke up from that coma. So I hope that in some way that you can call my number, and then you and I can talk off air. And hopefully next Thursday, when you call in, we can all hear what you have to say. So anyone that would like to call in, is Hotline 21. The number at the bottom of the screen is 312-738-1060. So if anyone else would like to call in, let us continue. And what you were saying, my beautiful co-host, about what you saw in the summary of the history.
Well, there were a number of names mentioned, and as I said, I want to finish the whole book. We'd probably have to get back to this after a couple shows, maybe 2 or 3 shows, look at my schedule, because I'd like to compare what I'm reading with what's going on right now today. Because one of the things I noticed is I don't have a TV at home, first of all. I don't want a TV. When I looked at what was on the CNN latest little pics and YouTube, they were talking about the burkini. In France, they banned the burkini at a lot of...
That's a swimming suit.
It's a swimming suit from the head all the way down. France has their ways of doing things.
Yes,
and
they do.
it's
Yes, they
very
do.
therapeutic in many, many ways. I think that's fine if they want to do it that way. I was surprised to hear that they want to ban the burkini. And as I looked at it more and more, it distracts from the harmony that people still have going on in France, because they're kind of loose compared to Americans. We're more conservative here.
Yeah, because they have beaches where people are naked.
Well, we're born naked.
Okay, this is true.
We're born
This is
naked.
true. This is
And
true.
when I had to think about this, I sat back, I thought about this a little bit, because I don't like to shoot from the hip with my thoughts, and my thoughts are in powerful things. But as I looked at these women with these from head to toe bathing suit, it's almost as if they feel shameful about something natural. Their bodies.
Is a bathing suit?
It's from head all the way down. So some
Or
of
are
them
you
have their
talking
faces
about?
showing.
I don't know
the
what you-
bikini was a bathing
Oh,
suit.
the Muslim
Yes.
women. That's what you're talking about.
Right.
Those who follow the Islamic faith.
Right.
Who are covered up all the way. Excuse me.
For the water.
And I do remember that France was banning that. This to me is crossing the line. People's religious freedom should be their right, as long as they're not hurting anybody. But for people to say you can't wear that and that's part of your religious belief system, personally, as an individual woman, we're here in America, we're in Chicago, I'm not really into wearing something like that myself. But that's a personal choice, and it's a cultural source and a sociological choice too. When I talk about sociology, the way of life that people live around the world. So I get your point on that, but I think it's disrespectful of people's individual right to their own religious beliefs.
Well, I got something to add to that. As I said, I thought about it quite a bit before I would start talking about it, because I've got friends of various diversities, all kinds of religions and faith and such, and we talk. And we really talk to one another. But when I saw that, it goes back to my roots, my core belief, and that is, it takes a whole village to raise a child. We've been hearing that since we were children. I believe it takes a whole community to raise one another. I don't care if it's religion or what have you. And when we see something that's going wrong for a long period of time and it's not working, that's a different mindset. I am not for that at all. I don't like the idea of religions and people telling people how to live their lives. You know, you don't need to be herded that
And
much.
how to dress too. I mean,
How to dress, because
Yes.
that really messes with people's creativity. And there's more deeper thoughts I have behind it, because I've been taught that women are the pilots and women are the navigators. It's kind of hard to really live within that when you've been dogged down and backwards teaching that you're supposed to be subservient to men.
Well, you should submit. That's one of the things I find I take issue with, that when you go into some church settings, here we go, traditional religion, where the male dominates. I call it the patriarchal rulership society, where I'm told that I'm supposed to submit to a male and I'm supposed to recognize that men were created first, which is a lie. That's what you were talking about when we get into the book, When God Was a Woman, how the original people who wrote were males and they put themselves as the dominant pronoun in all of the stories that they wrote. So I'm glad
Power struggle.
We're going to go over this at the meeting. So I would like for many of you who would like to attend to call. Let me do the overhead again. And to come to the meeting.
And it's not male bashing.
And it's not male bashing. This is true. What it is a moment in time for we as women. Like I said, will be closed meetings and there'll be open meetings. Last year I had men coming to the meeting. And now, because I know we work in this world together if we want to, and we can. And I've had much male support. And this is the information, Sisters in the Spirit. And that's the email where you can contact me, Minister Cynthia Marie Williams, 312-802-4743. And any questions or comments that you may have at this time, you can call in. But for that gentleman who was saying something very important, I'd like for you to call me at that number, 312-802-4743. And we can further discuss the points that you are making, that you want to make. But it's all about love. It's all about love. And I've always wondered why men seem to be so sensitive about women being equals. That seems to be very threatening to them. Now, I want to put something out here again. If somebody wants to call in, male, female, I was told by one of my male associates, mature male gentlemen, that men are jealous of women. And I'm like, what? What do you mean by that?
They are.
Men are jealous of women because women can have babies. We are the only ones of the gender that can have a male and a female formed in our bodies and have that birth time in pain, and it is painful, gentlemen, and bring forth life in that way. So I wondered, I would love for some of you men to call in and share with me that whole information that I was given. But, you know, I want you to be encouraged. I love you, I love you, I love you. You know, we're just women that have a mind, and we are being educated beyond what the world is saying to us. Isn't that correct, Rosella?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so we're learning more, and we want to share with all of you that we are important, all of us. And for you women of color, black women, do come to the meeting, as I said, and we will receive you Sunday at 3 p.m. I will be there. There will be other women there, and we can go through the 12-step program, which I went through too. So God bless all of you. Peace and blessings to you all, and see you again next Thursday.